Hello, welcome back to my channel, and we are gonna catch up on the drama mama. Trauma mama. I like the part. That song, anyways. So yeah, we're catching up on drama. I hope especially K-pop drama. Guess what? It's New Jeans versus Adore again. That's the first hit docket we're gonna look at. And then Mini Jean was exposed once again for what we'll look into again. The New Jeans dorm situation, which is an interesting piece. A lot of their fans are mad, and people who don't understand what's going on will actually go into as well. Yeah, and then also BTS armies are insulting Taeyang from Big Bang. I don't know why. It's kind of. We'll dive into it in a bit. So let's get into our first thing. Okay. Now, I was reading an article a little bit this earlier, but here's what it is: the Adore's apply for an injunction against New Jeans to preserve their status as a company, right? Okay, so on 13th of January 13th, Adore announced through an official press release last week. Oh, sorry, a press release that last week Adore applied for an injunction to preserve the agency status and prohibit the signing of ads and advertising companies, etc., against the members in New Jeans at the Seoul Central District Court. So what this means is that they have signed this because they have gotten the word that the girls themselves are probably most likely contacting advertisers individually in order to make a new contract with these advertisers to, jump on their ship or make new ones. Advertiser would make new making new ads with other companies that they haven't got to work with yet, basically. And since they're still under Adore, it is actually it's not legally binding what they're doing. It's illegal, and it goes against it's a breach of their contract that they already have, which they say they don't, but they didn't really, like I said in my last video, they didn't really go through the procedure of actually breaking the contract. They just said we broke the contract in that we don't have to pay nothing, which if you look into the law, you can't do that unless both sides had said. I think I mentioned this in the other video. Unless both sides had came to an agreement that yes, we don't want to part ways with each other, that's different. But since one side's saying like, no, you're still with the contract. You have this for another until 2029, I believe. And one's like, no, we're done with you. Like, this is our last year. We'll finish our last schedule at the beginning of 2025, and that's it. We have nothing to do. Yeah, that's what we see. New Jeans is saying, but Adore was saying like, no, you're under contract. You haven't even done the process of trying to eliminate the contract, right? So in this, Adore is acknowledging that they're still a management company and they are managing New Jeans still, despite what the girls are saying, despite what they are doing, right? And so that's mainly what it's about. And it also they are waiting for the trial results too, because they had also sued New Jeans last year, as it says right here. The lawsuit, the confirmation. So it's a confirmation lawsuit of the validity of the exclusive contract they have between Adore and New Jeans, right? So they're suing. That's the first thing they did last year, the 3rd of December, right? That's the first thing they did for a case they made against New Jeans. The second one is an injunction to file to stop their activities. They didn't halt all of them completely, just halt the ones that they were doing without permission. The ones that are still under the ones that are still under Adore, they're allowed to do. But the new ones are trying to get, they're stopping those ones. Not the ones current, but the ones they're trying to obtain the new ones, right? The ones without the approval or consent of Adore, as it says right here. This injunction, it says right here, hold on. Adore explained, sorry. Okay, Adore explained the injunction is to have Adore knowledge is its status as the management company, planning company, according to the exclusive contract to the trial verdict in the lawsuit of the confirmation of the validity of exclusive contract, like I said, filed by Adore, the Seoul Central District Court on December 3rd of last year, and to prevent the members of New Jeans from independently signing advertising contracts and conducting advertising activities without Adore's approval and consent. I believe that's what I said before I went into actually, but that's what the injunction was for, was to prevent them from doing anything independently without Adore's approval, because like I said, they're still under that contract regardless of what they say and what are they doing, you know. And I know people are saying like, why? I know people are saying if that's the case, why is Adore letting them do whatever they want to do? Because in my opinion, this is my opinion, it's better to let your enemy, what's the saying for it? It's actually saying for, I don't remember, but it's better to let those, I don't know what I'm saying, but I think they're doing, mind you, my opinion, I think they're doing this, let them to do whatever they want to, giving them as much leverage as they possibly can, so they can, when it comes down to the actual court, they have enough evidence to be like, here, this is what they did. A plus B plus C, A plus B plus C plus D plus E. So basically all the evidence is laid out in front of them. That way, if they do try to say like, and that way, if New Jeans tries to say something, they really can't, because the evidence is against them at this point. And they can't really defend themselves in that part of way, because like, technically, yes, what they're doing is against their contract that they have signed with Adore that's not even fulfilled, you know? And a lot of fans think that Adore should just let him go, or New Jeans fans should be like, why are you so pressed, or not pressed, like, why are you so obsessed, or why are you like so like money hungry? It's not, to me, it's not about money. Well, kind of is, because New Jeans is playing with their money, because at the end of the day, New Jeans is basically the group who's under Adore, and they put money into those girls in order to build them up to who they are as of today, right? That includes all the training they went through, all the vocal lessons they went through. That includes all the endorsements they got pre-debut, right? So they have pre-debut endorsements that usually you don't get those endorsements unless you, I don't know, you've been in the game for 3 years, and then you all of a sudden get offers to be able to be in advertisements, right? That's usually how it works in the K-pop world, right? Like, I remember, I think it took about a couple of years before I think Blackpink girls got their I think all their advertisements or even became an ambassadors of these companies. They had to be like at least around for a good time and had like a good standing in, you know, the K-pop world. And even when they went to all these galas to meet the main people, and like they were like, oh yeah, let's sign you up. Or even like for the K-pop boys, like the K-pop groups, like the boy groups, they same thing. Like took years before they're able to get an endorsement, unless they were models, which 9 times out of 10, most of the K-pop idols are not models. They're just people that, you know, come from different walks of life, or they come from like other like different walks of life, or sometimes they'll come from like they chables. They come from rich lives, or they come from like, you know, not so great lives, or the middle class, or even overseas, you know. They come from different walks of lives, or they come from like people from previously trained or no training at all. Like basically that's how most K-pop artists are. And if you actually look into most of their artists, they tell you like, well, I've been training for this song before I was able to debut, or they'll say, oh, I've been training for this song and then I debuted. You know, it's a long debut period. You know, they train for many, many years before they are like officially debuted in a group, right? So for them to get so for New Jeans to be the only group to get a I just said pre-advertisements before actually debuting, says a lot about the company they come from. It really does, because Hybe had that just shows you Hybe had a lot of not pull, but they had already people advertisements already, and they just said it like, hey, let's just do this like da 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 da. Because I don't, because Minnie Jin didn't do that. She didn't have like the name brands under her name when she was at SM like that. If I remember correctly, no, she didn't have like, I think probably Celine, which is, well, no, I should probably not even Celine. I don't know. I haven't looked into I haven't looked into Minnie Jin's history like that when it comes to advertisers. I just know that Hybe, YG had like really decent global advertisements in general off top. Yeah. I'll probably have to dig into it deeper for about like the other groups to see what their advertisements were in general. But yeah. I just jumped out of topic, but yeah, it's still on new things though. Okay, lastly, Adore added, Adore has consistently supported all personnel and facilities for New Jane's entertainment activities according to the. Okay, so basically, okay. Lastly, Adore added, Adore has consistently supported all personnel and facilities of New Jane's entertainment activities in accordance with its position that its exclusive contract with New Jeans is valid and plans to continue to do so in the future. So what basically means, or what obviously what it states, is that there's no reason for the contract to be null and void because they complied with everything that was in the original contract. There's nothing that states that they didn't. You know, they're still doing things for them to earn money. Like, they didn't stop their bag. They kept trying to get their bag growing, even to grow their name bigger, to even get more fandoms out. You know, it's just it's crazy because it's like they're just at this point, like lots of people are saying that, or people say they're antis. They're not really antis, or they're hype stands. And you can, like, if you're a bunny, you can call me a hype stand too, because I really don't care at this point, because I'm just stating the facts and what I'm being read and what I understand from my perspective, and what I'm understanding from what this is that basically they did not do anything to throw New Jeans away, despite what they're saying, despite what that report came out last year. They didn't do anything to throw them away at all. If anything, they were trying to make an effort to get them to come back. And an effort, they're throwing an effort. They didn't give, honestly, they didn't give the new CEO that came in a chance before they like just like whatever. She was only there for like about a month, like not only a month before this, like, oh, we don't want nothing to do with her war. It's kind of says it's a lot telling when you don't want to do it, when you don't want to try to compromise. It's like they don't have they're not trying to compromise anything on that side at all, and it's kind of sad because it's like, at least if you want to continue to grow, you have to compromise, okay, with whoever comes in new, you know, because that's basically how the world works. You have to compromise with either a new boss, new trainer, new this, new that, because something might have happened to your old, you know, something might have happened that, you know, that wasn't your fault, that just happened, and that things change. That's how the world works. You grow up, things change, right? So that's what that was all about. Sorry. So this was all about, is basically this. Okay, now let's go to the other one, which is basically Minnie Jin gets exposed. Okay, an exclusive report of workplace bullying instigated by Minnie Jin, Ministry of Employment and Labor, Hybe found not guilty. Okay, so remember last year how Hybe was investigated for, like, I think 2 things: workplace death and also workplace bullying, right? Both of those have been confirmed, as there was nothing seen as mischievous, or nothing was seen as like out of the sort or unordered or anything bad, because it wasn't for first and foremost, the workplace supposed unaliving or workplace death supposedly was proven to be false, because they did the groundwork for it, and they did an investigation, and it turned out that there was no case for that. It was the person that was just sick, and that they just went to the hospital, and they just died because they had a previous illness. And even the family of that person came forward and said, like, no, they had a previous illness that they just got sick and got really bad, and we could do nothing about it. The person just wanted to work until the end, basically how they said. But then remember, the labor administration was like, that's what a family would say if for a cover-up. They have to I think they did apologize to the family for that statement, and also they apologized to Hybe as well. Okay, so that's that part. That's that one, right? So this one is about the workplace bullying. So meaning, okay, let's continue with it. I'll definitely say that first part first, but this part is about the workplace bullying and how it came about and who did it and why. Okay, so for this one, Mhj, the vice president orders to report and respond to reinvestigation of sexual harassment case. Okay, remember last year it came out that the former VP of Adore had did some not assault, something along the lines, but not actual assault, more just harass the person in a sexual manner, right? And they were reported by the person who he did this to Hybe, and Hybe was like, we need to investigate. So they're investigating, right? So what this is basically going to say, because I already went through this one, or a couple days ago, or yesterday. So basically in this one's going to talk about like okay, so the story I just told is why it's important, why this came up. Okay, apparently Mhj had told the VP to go to the Ministry of Employment and Labor to write a report against Hybe, to say that, I've been bullied by the Hybe executives for X, Y, and Z, right? That's what he told them and made a report against them about. Though, and you know why he did that? He did that so it would instruct them from investigating him about the sexual harassment case that was filed against him that around the time, or really because they were doing a reinvestigation. So a reinvestigation about the sexual harassment case. So instead of letting them do the investigation, Mhj had told him to make a false report to the Administration of Employment and Labor, saying that he was bullied by the Hybe executives, and that he sent that through. So while that was being investigated, they didn't get to reinvestigate the sexual harassment case. And that was Mhj's doing. It will be later said in these text messages, which I'm not Korean, but I think they did like a summary of them. Okay, so here. It has been confirmed that the Ministry of Employment and Labor recently cleared the executives of workplace bullying with the largest entertainment agency in Korea, which is Hybe, right? This is the conclusion of former Vice President L, known to be a close associate to former Adore CEO Mhj, who reported multiple Hybe execs for workplace bullying in September of last year. So last year, September, he reported them, claiming that Hybe had conducted illegal audits, including forcibly collecting information assets. That's what he reported to Labor Administration and Labor, right? And all turned out to be false. Okay, and then Cho Soon-biz also confirmed that former CEO, was deeply involved in and instructed former VIP L to report this to the Ministry of Employment and Labor, right? It's also known as the person who designed the former President Min's plan to seize. Okay, he's also known as the person who helped Min design the whole plan to take over the rights of Adore, right? Same people. You know that saying, birds of a feather flock together? These two, they flock together hard. Okay. So according to the industry sources on the 13th, the Seoul Regional Employment and Labor Office, under the Ministry of Employment and Labor, concluded administrative case against former VP L's report last month, stating Hybe workplace bullying is not recognized because there's nothing there to begin with. Also, everything else that he had claimed also was debunked as well, because they stated that, I think, last year those were debunked. I believe the end of last year those were debunked, they were cleared of anything that was said falsely accused against them, right? At the time, he reported 5 key executives, including the new CEO of Adore and also the executive director of Adore as well. This and for all the for boiling as well. Okay. Okay, it was reported through a media outlet that former VP L was suspected of workplace bullying and sexual harassment, and that former President Min was trying to cover up the incident. So it basically tried to do cover up, which I think we all conclude. If you have heard about the case already, we all knew. Well, I didn't know. We just probably found out now that everything was a cover up. Like everything had. It is very, I would say, poorly timed, because it's actually well timed, but also it came out quickly as what happened. Is it came out really quick, the truth. Well, not that quick. It came out like a year later, or almost a year later. Probably it came out like 4 months later. The truth came out through text messages and all that. Okay. Okay, so former Min, who was leading Adore at the time, was found to have instructed, the VP, Vice Chairman, how to respond during it. Okay, so remember the Kakao messages that came out last year where it's like she was coaching him how to say certain things so he wouldn't be accused of sexual harassment in the workplace? Like literally like step by step, so that way it made it seem like that the employee that was being harassed was the one that's telling the lies and doing like anything that was untruthful, but actually she was being very level-headed and telling the whole truth, nothing but truth, but so help her God, like basically the whole thing. And also when the person who was being harassed, who was working at the workplace, she found about it late, she actually she made a claim, because she didn't want to. She made the claim and it's taken CCM into court because she basically obstructed the justice of what was actually happening. So, which actually kudos for her. She needs to save her peace. She needs to tell people like, no, this is not what happened. Like, this is what happened. It's A, B, and C. Adore notes that and also Adore said they were going to do like reinvestigation into it. So that's what also was going to happen. But then Min and her ex-VP did what they did by making false claims, and also by doing that, they actually pushed aside the reinvestigation of the sexual harassment case, so the people who Ministry of Labor and Employment will push that to the back burner and bring this other situation forward and do a thorough investigation of that, which actually, like I said, it became that it was debunked as false claims. So that's basically what this all is telling, what it's all about, basically. And that they were liars the whole time. I wish I would have got this translated. But it's funny. It's like a lot of people were saying, like, how did they get this information? Like, get all the info about that. It's like, it was insane. Oh, wait, I wasn't done. I had one more. Okay. I don't like all K-pop because I feel like they're very biased. Just like Korea is very biased. Pink Villa is very biased. Like K-pop news agencies, but they're the only ones I can go into right now because there's another one for this exact thing, but I can't access the website because it keeps turning, it keeps whiting out, so I have to go on here regardless of how I feel. Oh wait, it's on Naver. I love Naver. Never mind, I can go on Naver. Okay, forget all K-pop. Okay, so pop issue: Hybe staff wearing body cams filming at the dormitory after leaving New Jeans. Oh, sorry. Hybe staff wearing body cams filming at a dormitory after leaving New Jeans. What's the future with Adore? Okay, so basically, New Jeans had not how they didn't secretly left. They came individually in different cars. What I understand, to come and pick up everything in the apartment that they owned or something like that, and then left. That's what they did. So, what a lot of people are complaining about, or people that don't understand what's going on, is that the Hybe staff went into each of the dorm rooms that the girls lived in. Because remember, each of them have their own room. I'm sorry, their own apartment in like a very like nice penthouses, right? And each of them have their own like little house, and so they had to go in there. And they all wore body cams. That way they can take video footage of everything they went through to make sure there was no damage. Like, let's go into it. Because to me, if you're doing that means you're making sure everything's in its place. There's no damages involved. There's like nothing, they didn't leave anything behind. And that they didn't take anything they weren't supposed to take, like that type of stuff. Okay. Harold Park's Suhan. It has become a topic that a Hybe staffing member attached the body cam and monitored the dorm that the group New Jeans left, right? On the 13th, the dorm announced that they recently applied for injunction. Okay, we're in that part. Did you saw that part? They added the decision was prevent the division. Okay, so this part is they did. Okay. Okay, that's not what we're going for. Okay, here. New Jeans left Adore's dormitory after finishing their schedule in Japan in early December last year. Oh, so they left. They left that in December. So the New Jeans girls have been out of that complex since after leaving Japan. After the Japan, after the Japan schedule was finished in early December last year. Oh, and acted as partners with the door until they fulfilled their contract. Okay, with the door, when they had to meet up at the door due to schedule issues, they would meet up on their own. Okay, so reread it. New Jeans left a dormitory after finishing their schedule in Japan in early December last year, and acted as partners with Adore until they fulfilled their contract with Adore. When they had met at Adore due to scheduling issues, they would meet up on their own transportations. And when they finished their schedule, they would return home on their own transportation. So when New Jeans left the dormitory provided by Adore, it became a hot topic when it was revealed that Hybe employee had attached a body camera to the body and inspected the dormitory. Okay, so that's okay. So basically, why did it been so much at the bottom? Like this kept the like. Okay, so basically, it was really nothing. He just left the dorm, but I didn't know they left. I assumed before that they had left earlier. I mean, they left beginning of this year. I didn't know that they had left actually after their Japan schedule was finished. So they left a while ago. Okay, so that's something new that I've learned. Okay, so
Reread.
about the body cam thing. I remember I was
Reread.
reading a comment about someone was saying like, "Oh, that's weird. Why would they leave body cams and go in the dorm?" It's like this comment I put. If you never rented or been in a rental in your whole life, you don't know like why that happens. Okay, you can as a rentee go into a property after it's vacant or before it becomes someone moves in, and take pictures or document the property to be like a before and after, right? That's what it is. So basically what they're doing, they're covering their ground just in case if there is damages, they have to pay for those damages. That's basically what it is. So like when we used to rent, well, we still rent, but usually when you leave a property, you have to make sure there's no damages. You clean up after yourself. That means if you don't leave any trash behind, you leave it spick and span. You make sure if you did do some like weird remodeling, you take those down or repaint everything to turn it back to its normal state. Right? And then if you leave a hole in the wall, you make sure you cover holes in the wall. That way you can get your full deposit back. Because I remember we used to hang up pictures in our house. We still do. And what we would do, you do get putty. Putty put in the walls. After we're done, and then that'll fix the holes in the wall from when we put in nails in the wall. That's what we, as a renter, you would have to do. Even if you damage something, or if you change the locks on the apartment, you have to replace it with the original lock and key. That way, if you leave and you forget to give them the original lock and key, it's a big deal. It really is. Because they're like, okay, why did you change? It's a whole process. If you're not used to it, then if you're not used to renting at all, it's just a small thing. Even the renter yourself, if you want to protect yourself as well, you can document the property yourself instead of that. You can document it too as well. So you would take pictures or video record every nook and cranny that you feel is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But then also the rentee can also come in and do the same thing because it is their property and they can do that, right? And that way there's nothing, that way you can say no, I didn't do that. That's why they're doing it too. That's why the staff on their body cams be here, we're just going in here, take a quick review of what was taken, or if what was left, if nothing's left, fine, or what was still left in, let's say, or if there's damages or anything needs to be cleaned, that way they can go in there and clean it up before they let someone else rent it, that type of stuff. That's all that is. But people are a lot of them is have a field day with it, but it's not that deep. Really isn't. It would be weird if they did this when the girls were still there, and that there was still property, their stuff wasn't there. That would be the weird thing. That would be the one that's weird. But by them doing it when they left and it's vacant, that's completely fine. It's completely fine. Keep it honest. So the next one is Army started assaulting Taeyang for being reread. Now, why are they doing that? Okay, so basically what happened recently is that one of Taeyang from Big Bang, or I say that former because they're still in Big Bang unofficially, but officially. But he had a concert coming up in Jakarta, so he had to cancel that because the ticket sales were low. So apparently, a lot of BTS armies are going after him, saying basically, what are they saying? They're saying oh, for someone who was the king of Kpop back in the day, you're sure not selling out. But I'm if you actually go into if you actually go to his ticket sales, I'm not even. I was supposed to find it, but I forgot to. If you look at his ticket sales for all his others tour, all the other dates he has, they're all sold out. So I don't know why they're just picking on this one.
Reread.
Tan Light Tour.
Reread.
Light Year Tour, I think. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Let's find the dates.
Reread.
Let me slide nation right here.
Reread.
Okay, yeah, that just tells you Australia and all that. I'm gonna find all his dates. Where did I find all his dates? But really,
Reread.
okay, here's the actual post. You know, well, I saw it somewhere. I just don't know where I saw it at. But yeah, but
Reread.
all his dates are actually sold except for one, and that's the Jakarta one. But that's not his fault. Basically, it's the fault of, like, I guess the promoter in the area. He wasn't doing promotionals right, from what I'm. So basically, the Jakarta tour is the only one that he had to cancel because it didn't have no dates, and that's only because, from what I understand, the promoter in that area didn't promote his tour or that day well enough for him to sell tickets. It's only what it was because, not because anything else. Not because he wasn't popular. He was very popular. Shit. Big Bang was very popular in, I think, if I remember correctly, in Jakarta area before BTS. Basically, in the other Asian countries, BTS, maybe Big Bang was big before BTS. So they're the first ones, along with other K-pop artists as well, that went to Jakarta and also performed too as well. But yeah, it wasn't just like for them to do that. I was like, I'm an ARMY, I'm a BTS ARMY too, but I don't stoop that low. I won't, because it's like at the end of the day, it's like I'm not. That's petty. That's very petty. Even for me, and I don't have high standards, but it's very petty in general. And I felt bad because of that. And I was like, he's like, even like when G Dragon does a world tour, still going to that tour. Taeyang's tour over here in America, I'm going to. I know 20 minutes to doing it. I'm going. So I love me some 21. I love me some Fang. I love me some Taeyang. I love me some JJ. True, those are not my grapes. Those look like a. Oh, I do want to talk about all groups back in the day. That's pretty man. I don't want to say my age. I don't want to say my age, because if I say my age, I'm gonna be dating myself. Because I'll just say this, for my age wise, G Dragon's not that much older than me. He's only a couple years older than me. Precisely because he's 36, 37. Yeah, he's 36, 37. I'm 33. About to be done 34 in a couple months, actually. So, yeah. Well, just not that much. He's not that much older than me. So, yes. Saying a lot, but saying nothing at all. But yeah. It's true. Okay, so that's the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and follow. And please like, subscribe, comment, ring that bell. And thank you. Bye-bye.